Okay, we're not ready, really, but we're here. We are here. We're in this filthy shop table. I mean, it is the worst. There's the new machine in all its glory, and I'm going to move it up 10 millimeters according to the controller that I have. I'm going to hit the button. You see those numbers go up? I'm going to hit it again and keep an eye on my spindle there. Let me back up and get you in an angle where you can see the coupler, because it moves. See that? And it's going to raise up. Every time I do that, it raises up. So we got a lot of room here. It's in millimeters, and I keep forgetting that was in centimeters. So we can go up. Let's try 50 millimeters. Very brave, very brave. Now, if I'm really machining, I'm going to move it down probably a tenth or a half a millimeter at a time. So let's go to, I'll go over here. Let's go to a half a millimeter, and let's come down, and you guys see how much everything moves for half a millimeter down. You see that? So if I come down onto the top of my part, this will all get raised because I have other stuff, right? But if that tool bit is resting on that part, I would hit reset for my offsets, and then I would say down 0.5 while it's turning, okay? And it would go, it would drill down a half a millimeter, and then I would move it to the left and right. Then I'd move it in a little more, and then move it to the left and the right, move it in a little more, and every time I made a round, I would knock it down another half. That's how I'm going to do the slot for now. I could try later to take off these pulleys, take off these cranks, and get to that shaft. I have 2 more couplers, and 2 more stepper motors, and I have 2 more slots for driver boards, and I have 2 more driver boards. Oh my God! And there's X, and I can plug in Y, but I didn't. I got X, Y, and Z. This is a controller. This takes the G code to what you want to do and turns it into the machine instructions to move. Okay, so I'm still going to have to do a little design work on the part, design the cavity that I want. It'll look like it'll look like the water out of a glass. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want to do. I want the water in the shape of the cavity, and then I'm going to machine the water out of the metal, that shape out. We're creating a cavity. We're not 3D printing, adding material. We're cutting material away, so it's the opposite. So it works. I just plugged it in the first time, and it works in the right direction. Z plus is up and all that happy stuff. And look at the motion. We've got lots of motion here. I'm going to have to calibrate it. I had a limit switch on this side. I don't have it fully wired or anything yet, but I'm going to have to put one on the lower side so I can auto stop there, auto stop up here. That's on pretty good, actually. So they wire in. There's a end stops is on here. So you wire the switch to that. When it hits the end stop, it stops the Z motion. Oh, wow. And then it would show up here, You tell it, that's my maximum range. Okay, you're there. Oh, boy. So we are just cutting and a baling. The other thing I was thinking about was this stuff here is, if I really need a PC here, I can't have it up there. That's just, but these wires, the power for this and the power for that, you know, they could come over to something like here. So if I could move this out somewhere else and put in another desk, or maybe a work table, you know, like that work table right there, train table, bring it over here and put my computer and all of my CNC related paraphernalia, bits and drill bits and all that over here so it could stay cleaner. And then just let that be where the chips fly and stuff. I mean, I have my vise and my Dremel and whatnot, so I'll be doing that. Oh, there's my improvised horizontal Dremel now. I just clamped it. I think I might ruin that doing that, so I'm not going to do it much longer. But that's one thing I'm going to miss here. My other one, I could rotate the thing, but if you put that level of motion on this, you really start to risk your, you know, your strength and whatnot. I mean, that's got some wiggle to it, but you know, like I said, I got a hunk of train table. That's 5/8 marine plywood. It's very stiff. I'm going to put it underneath all of this, and I'm going to run some struts. Look at that, see? I'm going to run some struts from down here, I think, so it won't go that high, or I just won't let it go that high. I'll run, clamp some strut mounts here, and then go from here back. Like on my printer, on my 3D printer, I have those struts there. That stiffened that top piece by almost a factor of 50. I measured it, flex, with and without, and it just dropped. It just doesn't flex. So I'm confident I can add stiffness by adding rails to the back, and that'll hold us in either way. But if you can see it, no, you can't see it because I'm moving, but it does move a little bit. But I can stiffen that up and we'll get out of that. This will work. If I can get the motors on here, that'll be cool. If I can't, if these things are like just not capable, I may have to get a kind of a bigger set, do that. The last thing I need to do is, well, not the last, but one of the things, I got a worksheet here of all my stuff. When I went upstairs to have lunch, I worked out my game plan. So I've got to get my offset. I got to check my Z-axis. There's the struts I talked about. I got to move this whole thing in so that when I'm in all the way, I am been cutting over here. I can't even reach the thing now, I don't think. And then, oh, there's the limit switches. And this is how the control's going to work. And I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that is pretty smooth. Now, when it moves, it just stops, right? And then the Dremel's on, it's running, and that's manual. There is a spindle option for this one in blue here. It can be a spindle on-off. And what I could do is take the switch to a relay. But for now, I think I'm just going to leave it manual and just manage my down motion and hog out a few slots and go from there. That's the plan. Is that exciting? Oh boy. Oh, very exciting. Is it still on, I wonder? I don't know. I moved it around. Oh yeah. See it move? That's at 0.5 millimeters. So you could start cutting, you know, get down, touch the part, turn the thing on. You're barely on it. Go down 0.5 millimeter and you'd be grinding right now if I had a part under there. Oh, baby. That is so cool. And then once you're down, you don't touch that. You're cranking it, right? You're just going to crank it over. And I'll have marks, or I can read. These are millimeters or inches or something. I don't know what. I'll figure that out too. All right, gang. That's it. I can't believe it. Brought it down, plugged it in. It works. Unbelievable. And this is a CNC shield that just plugged into a Uno. And where's the wiring? It's between the two boards and the pinouts. The shields are just beautiful. I just had to bring in power and then output to the motor. And when I get limit switches, I'll add those. Amazing. All right, gang. That's it. That's an update. Ha ha ha. Love it.